other organizations that I've worked for, we had hundreds of donors that we would go to, individuals, and to be honest, I was a little surprised with Habitat of how few donors that we actually had. It was mostly companies, it was mostly churches.
The support we've had over the years has usually been corporate and church. Individual giving is not uncommon, but we don't have large individual donors.
I could probably count on one hand the number of donors that even gave $1,000 or more. So that was definitely a very big need that we have, was to increase our individual donors. In the year and a half we've been with Major Gift Ramp Up, it's several hundred donors. I would say we've got over 30 donors that I would consider major gift donors at this point.
So working with Major Gifts Ramp Up and following their plan with our case for support that we put together, which was powerful in itself, it just opened the floodgates. It was very easy. All we needed was a path, a roadmap, and that's what Major Gifts Ramp Up brought us. We've done, I can't tell you how many golf tournaments, how many galas and everything we've done. $25,000 has been the tops. A lot of effort on our part.
Each year we've done an annual gala, and we've really contemplated each year, do we want to continue to do the gala or not? Because at the end of the day, we've been raising $20,000 on average, $25,000 on a good year. After the Major Gift Ramp Up, following their plan, doing the awareness event and then the Ask event, we were able to raise over $500,000 that one night. We had the pledge ask where we called out the pledges. And at first, we were a little unsure whether we wanted to do that. It's a risk to call out pledges. And at first, the pledges started coming in $100, $25. And Roy and I were looking at each other, oh no, this is not going to work out. Within a minute or two, we got one for $5,000, and that seemed to open up the floodgate. Within another minute, we had one for $25,000. We had one for $100,000. We had one for $92,000.
In my 25-year history with Habitat, I've never seen a donation over $25,000, other than a church or a corporation paying for a house. So this was phenomenal, and it just set the stage for what was to come.
And at the end of the night, we were up to $456,000. A gentleman stands up and says, I want to give us over $500,000. Here's another $50,000 pledge. So the total for the night was $506,000. I don't know, it was bigger than any of us. I can't explain it. It was a blessing in the truest sense. But it really, Major Gift Ramp Up helped us build the stage for that kind of magic to be able to happen.
Working with donors, it's almost like you never meet them. You know, check comes in the mail and you sign a thank you letter. I've reached out to some and they don't want to be, talked to. But with this, with the awareness event and leading people into it, and it ends up with a ride with Roy, they're lining up to take rides with us now. Now they're coming to see what their money's going to do. And we took one gentleman for a ride and he said, I didn't know these situations existed, these conditions existed. So they're just lining up to take the ride, and then they understand how we're spending our money. So the case for support was a drawing, now it's real. Ride with Roy is where they sign up to come to our office and we provide them with a lunch. It takes 1 hour, free lunch. We'll talk to them about what we're doing. We have maps on the wall, our 10-year plan, our 5-year plan. Then we jump in the truck and we literally drive through a neighborhood where we have already started working. One block we've completed, the next one we're in the middle of. Then we take them down the street to see what the next 2 years will bring. It's really a 5-year window. And they get to see exactly what happens on a street where you tore down an old house. We have the pictures of what was there before and what's there now. And then they see what is in the next neighborhood. So they end up, by the end of the trip, they have the vision that we have. And so many of them are coming out of there going, this is so exciting to see what you guys are doing in this neighborhood. It's just amazing.
What surprised me most with working with donors is just how much donors are there. And you may work with these people, you may know these people, but if you're not reaching them and engaging them in a way that really pulls at their heartstrings, really sees that your mission is doing work that no one else is doing and that you're doing it the best way, you're not going to get those donors. And with Major Gift Ramp Up, they really helped us with the right message, starting with our case for support, to get these donors to become interested and engaged in what we're doing.
You know, I can be on a job site with a nail apron on one day working with a volunteer group, and the next one I'm riding around with a multimillionaire showing him what we're doing, and he can sense that my hands are in it all the time.
It's really increased the entire board's engagement to what they're doing. It's increased my engagement, my confidence. To be honest, when we started this whole thing, I wasn't sure how I felt about somebody else coming in from the outside to help us raise money. I felt like, well, that's my job. Maybe it was a little bit my pride or my ego, but I wasn't sure I wanted someone to come in. But I do have to say that this whole thing would not have happened without them. I realize that most nonprofits have to use an outside fundraising consultant, at least for a season. There's no shame in it. It's not supposed to make you feel like you're not doing your job. You're still doing the brunt of the work, but it's their plan and their accountability that helps you get to where you're trying to go. And that's what the most important thing is at the end of the day. People talk about you have to have faith, and sometimes you don't know where that faith is going to come from. It's not something that's necessarily in your hands to control. You need outside help. You need somebody to come along and help you get to where you're going. And I feel like it was a blessing from God for Lewis and Jimmy and Major Gift Ramp Up to be put in our lap. It was the right timing, the right thing at the right time. And so it's really restored my faith in my job, being a nonprofit fundraiser, and our whole organizational mission. I feel like we can accomplish our goals now.